Hello and welcome to Challenge Charlie, challenge number 6. I'm Charlie Lester and I'm here in Johannesburg where I'm going to be making a documentary on AIDS orphans. Now this is kind of the start of the slightly different side to Challenge Charlie because we're also going to try and encompass some more kind of educational and geographical challenges into the work that we're doing. But don't worry, for those of you who are action junkies, we will still be doing some pretty cool stuff. We're going to be flying over to Cape Town at the end of our stay and hopefully climbing up Table Mountain, doing some sand surfing and trying to fit in a kayaking trip to go and see the penguins. So there should be some action-packed stuff there too. But for now, we're going to be making the documentary. It's actually a radio documentary, which ties in with my master's back in England. So I'm over here with Lauren, who is on my master's course, and we decided we had completely free reign as to what we were going to make our documentary on. So we've decided to make it on AIDS orphans, just to really kind of raise the awareness about AIDS and HIV with students over in Britain, because I know that a lot of people don't really know all that much about AIDS and HIV. They're kind of things that you hear bandied around a lot. But in reality, a lot of people don't know a great deal about the disease, or even about how it's transmitted and who can catch it and how you catch it, and what having AIDS or having HIV really does mean. There's obviously completely different implications over here, and we're hoping to highlight sort of some of the things that we can do as Westerners for the situation over in Africa, and some of the things that are being done over here by the various charities. So over the next 2 weeks we're going to be visiting a selection of different charities. The first one that we're going to is Spirit of Hope, which is a church charity based in Soweto. We're going to be going down to Meadowlands this afternoon with Richard, who's the chairperson and the founder of the charity. So we will take the camera with us. It's actually a radio documentary that we're making, but we will have our video cameras on us. So I'll show you what some of these charities look like. Hopefully we can take the cameras into orphanages, into clinics, and just really show you the situation down here and what it's like, because to be honest, I've got absolutely no idea yet what to expect. You're watching this with as fresh eyes to the situation as I am. Anyway, I shall catch up with you a little bit later. Hopefully Richard should be arriving in the next 20 minutes. Hey, right, me and Lauren are just in the informal settlement, which is just on the outside of Johannesburg. This is basically where the most needy people live. We've just been speaking to Richard, and apparently kind of the more wealthy, if you can call it wealth, sort of the slightly better off people would be living in Soweto, which is still an urban area, whereas this is very much not an urban area, and the houses are kind of made out of a selection of stuff, a bit like shanty houses, I guess. The kids are all adorable. A lot of them are orphans, are AIDS orphans. Lots of them are being brought up by older siblings, or by grandparents, or by uncles and aunts. And they're just adorable. They're just milling around in massive groups, and at sort of every house we stop at, sort of we're greeted by about 7 or 8 kids who are just absolutely loving the video camera and loving watching all the pictures on it and watching themselves waving and stuff, which is really cute. But I mean, as you can see, there's really not a great deal here, and as Richard's been saying, it's kind of down to charities like Spirit of Hope to provide them with food and clean water and clothing, because although they get medicine free from the government and from sort of the various medical companies that are working over here, they don't actually get much else provided for them. And there's just no money in this place at all. I mean, just look at it, just look at the poverty around here. But it's quite heartening that they do. I mean, they really make the best of it. We took a really cute little video on, I'll show you in a sec, of this game that these kids have made up, kind of with a ballpoint pen and a dried pea and a piece of paper, that was kind of their form of some kind of video game, I guess. And as you can see behind me, the kids are all playing football with the coolest of goals over there by the roadside, which is pretty cool. Okay, I think we're going to go and see a children's home now, so I shall get you back to you in a bit. Richard, who incidentally runs a charity out of his own bedroom in Soweto, then took us to Soweto to see Sizanani Home-Based Carers. It's a soup kitchen which feeds up to 618 orphans every single day. It was then on to Johannesburg and Cotlands, one of the country's largest orphanages. Here we witnessed the effect of the government now providing antiretroviral medicines to children with HIV. Up until recently, the children barely made it past 6 because they would die before that age, whereas now they're having more and more birthdays. Back to Soweto, this time to the Elton John Masibambizane Centre. It not only caters for children of all ages, this is the nursery, but it also runs income generation projects like vegetable gardens for affected families in the local area. At the Otto and Wendy Children's Home, we realised what happens when you give 13-year-olds a video camera.
And there's a lot of things. Come and see. Oh, you're sick. The toileters.
It's very exciting.
That room.
On our final day in Soweto, we were lucky enough to visit 2 amazing projects. That guy there is Joseph. When he was 19, his brother died of HIV and left 2 orphaned girls. No one in the local community would play with the girls because they were AIDS orphans, and so in order to make friends for them, Joseph started feeding AIDS orphans. He now feeds 75 a day. This house is absolutely amazing. Lerato and Sam live here. They're in their 60s, they're pensioners, and for the last 10 years, they've been using their pension fund to adopt over 100 AIDS orphans. Unfortunately, over the years, they have lost a number of these children, but the home remains an amazingly happy place, and currently there are 38 children living here who all call Lerato and Sam Mummy and Daddy. Amazingly, it was only recently that they actually started getting extra financial help. Everything was done with their pensions. And here they are. If you listen carefully, you can hear Lerato talking about the first child who died.
Healthy.
This one is the first one that died.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
intelligent.
Very intelligent.
Everywhere we went, we saw such happy, healthy-looking children. You genuinely would never have guessed that these children were ill. I guess that just shows the work that's being done out there. It really is amazing. I was so touched by the stories of people like Lerato and Sam, Joseph and Richard that I actually decided to make my documentary on the work being done by South African people to fight AIDS and HIV. If you'd like to listen to the documentary, I'll post a link on the YouTube site, and eventually when we get the website up and running, I'll have a link to the documentary so you can listen to their amazing stories in full. I just hope that I do the stories justice so that you're as touched by them as I was.